Hello and welcome to another topic lesson. So today's lesson focus is the Olympic Games. Now, do you know any facts already about the Olympics? Pause the video, have a chat with someone in your house, and then press play when you're ready to continue. Let's read a bit of information to begin with. The Greeks loved sport, and the Olympic Games were the biggest sporting event in the ancient calendar. The Olympic Games began over 2,700 years ago in Olympia, in southwest Greece. Every 4 years, around 50,000 people came from all over the Greek world to watch and take part. The ancient games were also a religious festival held in honor of Zeus, the king of the gods. There were no gold, silver, and bronze medals. Winners were given a wreath of leaves and a hero's welcome back home. Athletes competed for the glory of their city, and winners were seen as being touched by the gods. Before the games began, messengers were sent out to announce a sacred truce or a peace. This meant that any wars should be called off so that people could travel safely to Olympia. The entire games were dedicated to Zeus. Visitors flocked to see the temple of Zeus. Inside stood a huge gold and ivory statue of the king of the gods himself. The main event at the Olympics was not a sporting event, but a sacrifice. On the third day of the games, 100 oxen were sacrificed and burnt on the altar of Zeus. This altar was not made from stone. Instead, it was made from the leftover ash of all the sacrificed oxen. By around 200 AD, the mound of ash stood 6 meters high. Okay, now let's take a little look at this video here. Women at Olympia. Only men, boys, and unmarried girls were allowed to attend the Olympic Games. Married women were barred. If they were caught sneaking in, they could be thrown off the side of a mountain as punishment. However, women could still own horses in the chariot races at the Olympics, and unmarried women had their own festival at Olympia every 4 years. This was called the Heraea, and was held in honor of Hera, Zeus's wife. Winners were awarded crowns of sacred olive branches, the same as men. But in ancient Greece, only Spartan women were really interested in sport. So this little fact here, it says, married women were not allowed at the Olympic Games. However, one story tells of a mother so keen to see her son compete that she broke the no women rule and got in disguised as a man. Interesting. Okay, so let's take a look at the website to find out some more information about the events that took place at the ancient Greek Olympics. So let's take a look at this first one. Running. Running was the first event to be included in the Olympic Games. Athletes ran up and down a 192-metre track in the stadium. Before the race, the competitors lined up along a stone starting block. If anyone tried to get a head start, they were disqualified and beaten for cheating. The toughest running race was called the Hoplitodromos. In this event, runners competed wearing armour and carrying a shield. These could weigh up to 25 kilograms. Wow. Long jump. The ancient long jump was very different from the one we have today. There was no run-up, and jumpers propelled themselves by swinging weights called halters in their arms. The athletes would be accompanied by a man playing the flute. They would use the rhythm of the music to time their jump and the swinging of the weights. Discus. In this event, athletes would compete to throw a stone or metal discus as far as they could. The discus was much larger and flatter than the ones we use today, and probably weighed almost twice as much. Wrestling and boxing. Like today's games, the ancient Olympics included boxing and wrestling. However, they were a lot more violent. The toughest event was the pancration. This was a wrestling match with hardly any rules. The only things competitors couldn't do were bite or poke people in the eye. Some wrestlers were even killed. Boxing was tough too. The fighters wore leather gloves, and a boxer was allowed to keep hitting his opponent even after he'd knocked him to the ground. Javelin. Ancient javelins were sharpened wooden sticks, sometimes with a metal point on the end. Athletes could make them fly further by winding a leather band around the javelin. This would unravel as the javelin was thrown, making it spin in the air. And finally, horse racing. There were horse races and chariot races in the ancient Olympic Games. These events took place on a racetrack called a hippodrome. There were no seats, so spectators watched from the sides of the surrounding hills. Competitors raced around 12 laps of the track. The most dangerous places were the turning points at either end, because riders wanted to get the best line for the corner. However, it was the owners of the horses that were considered the winners, not the jockeys. Okay, let's watch a video to find out a little bit more about the Olympic Games.